Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? This is just something I've never done before actually. It's a Q&A session where I'm looking at some of the questions that you have put in the community page of Smile to Jannah.
Hang on to your seats.
Ask him that his Bangladeshi fans want to know, will he change the cover picture of his phone and put a royal Bengal tiger in it? Maybe, why not? Why not? You know, if I have to see if the Bengal tiger is extinct or it's not extinct, because it might be extinct, so I'll have to see. Ask him how we, young parents or old too, can save our kids from converting into European Muslims or moderate Muslims. The person says, I'm getting married very soon. I want to have a lot of kids. Okay, please don't give me a life story. Who's this? N.M. I mean, you give me a life story, and he's written more. He's written more. You know, man, this is a big, serious thing. One of the greatest things you can pass on to your children, which I'm having very big difficulty in doing myself, is language. Okay, it's a serious thing that our parents succeeded with us, especially if you're second generation, in passing on the native tongue. But because we are much more comfortable speaking the English language, this is going to be an uphill struggle, and sometimes you're going to need the grandparents to get involved. But we have to try. I'm not giving you advice on this. I'm genuinely giving myself advice here, to pass on the language. It's a serious thing. If you speak Urdu at home, you know, this is a serious language. It's a serious language. Urdu is spoken by I don't know how many hundreds of millions. And also think about the amount of people that speak Hindi, which is a close language. If you know Urdu, you're going to know a lot of Hindi as well. If you speak Bengali, it's a serious language. You know, if it's Somali, it's a serious language. Make sure that that is passed on. You know, honestly, do not give your children the gift of language. This is just one advice, and this is advice to me as well. What does he thinks of his memes that you put in your video? I like them. They're very funny. They're very funny. They're the ones, really. That actually, without them, the video would be really a pointless one. A pointless one. A frivolous one. A capricious one. How can he answer questions directly and fluently? And what is the best way to give dawah to non-Muslims? The best way to give dawah is not to engage in debate. Now, that might sound like contradictory coming from me or something, but you see me give debate, do debates and stuff. That's not really how to try and convey it. The best way to win a debate is the best way to convince someone is to not get into a debate with them and try and avoid debate at all costs. Whether that person's a loved one or someone that you meet in the streets, you know, genuinely, the best way to win a debate is to avoid one in the first place. And so, really, we're not trying to win debates here. When you're speaking to a non-Muslim, you're just giving them informative statements about what Islam is and the biggest, best dawah is just straightforward. It's non-philosophical. You say, we believe in one God, this and that. The basic, like, tenets, a lot of people will just accept it. You don't have to go into depth. We only do that to show that we can do that. With all due respect, we can do that. We can get involved. Islam is a very simple religion, but it can get very complex, and it has answers to very many complex questions. And that's what our engagements with people on that level tries to show. It's not to show that Islam is not simple, because it is. Most importantly, ask him how he deals with negativity from Speaker's Corner, and at the same time have a peaceful heart. Now, I don't know if I do have a peaceful heart, unfortunately. I don't know. I think that it's definitely moving in a different direction now. I might have had it in the beginning. If you look at my videos in 2017 and see the evolution, the more I'm challenged, the more I become more rough. And to be honest, I'm not the best person to seek for advice here. I need to get the advice myself, because sometimes the best thing is to move away from the whole thing, you know. And what I realize more and more is that we need to think about going back to Allah and making tawbah, making repentance. Because how else will our hearts become soft? The Quran says, أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. You know, is it not time now for those who believe, for them to have or in their hearts in listening to the reminder of Allah, وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ, and from what has been sent down to them, and not to be like those who came before them. فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ, and that their hearts became very hard, and that a lot of them are fusaq, fasiqun, that a lot of them are evildoers. So this idea of having a clean and beautiful heart, which is what in the Quran it says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The day where you need to come to Allah with a basically rectified heart, بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. So the rectification of heart is something I haven't even embarked upon it properly in order to comment on it effectively. His thoughts on being an Arab living in quasi-Desi country. I don't think it is a quasi-Desi. I think you maybe this guy lives in, what was it? Bradford. But believe me, no, I mean, I like it. I like all cultures. I like multiculturalism. When I go to Egypt, that's one thing I do miss. I miss the multicultural nature of this place. Ask him about his personal life, like education, where he learned to use those big words that shocked the people. Other than that, mashallah. There's actually a book, I think it's written by something called something Bly. It's a book called Smart Words for the Intellectuals or something like that. I can't remember. To make you sound, big words to make you sound smart or something like that. It's an interesting book. I've been going through it just to get someone plucking out some words. Because words are like, ammunition. If you have the right words, they can make people laugh, they can make people cry, they can make people angry, they can make people sad. So words are, seriously, words are a great, obviously, vehicle for communication. So, and the good old thesaurus, I mean, why not? Just use the thesaurus and try and pick out some words. But, reading books and then kind of underlining keywords, putting them in a notepad of some sorts, and then defining them in your own time. What languages does he speak? What is his favorite one? So I speak English and Arabic. There's other things I'm trying to learn, but I'm not even going to pretend to list them here. What's his favorite one? Oh, I'm more fluent in English than anything else.
So what are you learning? What else are you learning?
No, I'll tell you later. Interracial marriage advice and tips, especially for resistant families. Best way to seek education while being a full-time student. Oh, Islamic education. Well, okay, I'll give you one piece of advice on the second part of the question, is make use of your travel time. That's a big one. You can memorize the whole Quran on your way to university and coming back. It's very possible. So that's one piece of advice that's very practical that you can go and do now. How to give dawah to ex-Muslim atheists, please. Just as you would give dawah to any other person, Just give them the go rap. It's called the go rap. Research what the go rap is and you will see. When will he finally stop talking about how tall he is? I don't know when I was really making videos about that one, brother. I smell a jealousy there. You're jealous? You jealous? I'm joking. I'm a student of computer engineering, but I want to do dawah. What do you recommend me to study during my college study to start with? No. Memorize Quran and try to understand what that means. Just اكتفي بذلك. Just limit yourself to that. And also, like I said to you before, basics of ahkam, fiqh, and aqidah. Those three things is enough to keep you occupied. Obviously, Arabic language as well. It's enough to keep you occupied with your work. Believe me. How does he feel after defeating David Wood? Very good. I feel very good. Have you ever had Somali food? Yes. It's very good. There's bariz and halab and, moors and, you know what I mean? All of those things there. So I enjoyed a bit of that. And honor, that's right. Tell him that he's finished. Then challenge him to an MMA fight. It's not really a question, is it? Show the hijab memes and ask him which is his favorite. I don't know. I have to think about that one. How to have a better mindset? That's a good question. Part of the religion of Islam is to be very optimistic. There's actually many hadith like that, and I can enumerate them for you in another time. But that's just optimism and connect it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one hadith that the Prophet Muhammad in the Hadith Qudsi says, I am the opinion of my slave. So if he thinks good of me, then he'll get good. In other words, if you have an optimistic attitude, especially in relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will reward you and give you good for that attitude. And that verse in the Quran, وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are thankful, Allah will give you more. So these are two things. I just wanted to see his reaction to all the what you are dirty, etc. clips of you. Okay, that's a lot of people asking for that. Ask him how he controlled himself when he really want to punch someone during the debate. I just think of the consequences. And I'm not the best at control. Like sometimes I can control my anger to a good level, and sometimes I can't. And I think you guys know when is when. Ask him to speak Urdu with you. No, I'm not gonna embarrass myself in that manner. Please ask him to do Q&As often on his channel next. Okay, well, I'm doing that now. What are the best books, resources to understand origins of liberalism, feminism comprehensively? So, liberalism, you're gonna have to start from the basics. Start with secondary sources, and then you go to the primary ones. That's my basic advice. But I think this is gonna require another video. Okay, genuinely. Western and Islamic philosophy and history as well. So I've kind of covered that in the beginning, but we do need to go into that in detail on that. Ask him how he feels that it's turned into a meme. It wasn't intentional, and that's usually how these things go. When I will be getting a haircut, I'm thinking of actually growing hair a little bit. And I know there's a controversial opinion, but so I do what I want, in this life. And جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.